Hello, everyone. I was asked to. Some people been watching where I had a interview with L.A. Marzulli about some of the supernatural things that I've experienced through the years. Um, I've had a lot more experiences than what I listed with him, but I just wanted to list some of the things that I thought that people would be interested in. As a Christian, uh, I think we all, if you're a spiritual person, I believe that, and a Christian, I believe that you will experience a lot of things. Especially, I asked God when I got saved. Um, I wanted God to be real to me. I wanted my experience to be real. So I asked God that He would open my eyes to spiritual things, that I could um, experience things. I had went to church as a child. I never did experience anything. Never had any child experiences, but I remember that when I began to search for God and I asked the Lord to make Himself real to me, and was God real, I could hear a voice telling me, yes, I am real, and that I needed to seek His face. So I think one of the biggest, and I'm getting ready to share something with you that is a lot of people say it's crazy, that it's not real, but all I can do is share it with you. If you want to believe, you can believe it. If you don't, that's fine with me too. I don't care. I'm at that age where it doesn't matter if people believe me or not. I'm just going to share it in case somebody else has had that experience. But I will say the greatest experience I ever experienced was getting saved. I was getting ready to commit suicide. I'd had some things going on in my life, and I was 18 years old, and I was to the point where I didn't think living was an option anymore. I just wanted out, and I was getting ready to commit suicide. And I went to tell my grandparents goodbye. I told my mom goodbye. They didn't know that I was telling them goodbye forever, but I told them goodbye. I was getting ready to commit suicide, and this a friend of mine that I fished with sometimes, met me outside the house and told me, you ought to go to church tonight. There's a preacher down there. I hadn't been to church in years, but I thought I'll give it a chance. So I went, and I got saved. Maybe I'll share that with you later about how that happened. But anyway, God changed me from night to day. Anybody that's been saved, that's had a radical salvation experience, will probably know exactly what I'm talking about. So in 1984, actually it was 1983. In 1983, my wife and I were in the car with the pastor and his wife, and we were coming back from we'd went out to eat or something. I can't remember. But anyway, I was riding with him, and he was driving, and my wife and I were sitting in the back seat. Him and his wife were sitting in the front seat. It was dark. It was probably around 9:30, 10 o'clock. And we were coming back to the church where the pastor lived. He lived in the basement of the church. So as we rounded the church, his headlights hit a small figure that, for all appearances, it looked like a little leprechaun. It was about 2 foot tall. It was a little man. He was wearing a heavy like canvas type coat. The coat was red, had a large collar on the side of it. I mean, because I seen him in a profile as he ran past. It looked like he came out of the side of the church. He may have been standing at the wall of the church, but anyway, he ran across the parking lot right in front of the car and down off into the woods, into some very thick brush that went off pretty steep. As soon as it happened, I said, "Man, did you see that?" And his wife turned around and looked at me and she said, "Yes, I did see it." The pastor said, What was it?" I said, a little man. It looked to be like he was about 2 foot tall. He had a large nose. It was an older man, kind of wrinkled face, and he had a hat on. It looked like an old, like a hat like Lincoln would wear. Have you seen Abraham Lincoln's top hat? It's not quite as tall as that, but anyway, he looked like he had dark trousers on and what appeared to be, I guess, boots, but I really didn't pay attention to that. What caught my eye was this. It was so small. It was probably under 3 foot tall. It was about 2 foot tall, I would say. It was very fast. Why the pastor didn't see it, I have no idea. And there may be reasons he didn't see it. Because the more I thought about it, I believe it could have been a spirit. But it looked physical. It looked solid. It did. I mean, you couldn't see through this thing. It didn't look like what people call ghosts. But it was a physical thing, and it was very fast. In 1991, I had a hunting dog, a coon dog. A lot of people don't know what a coon dog is, but it's a dog that hunts raccoons, and they run through the woods and they get on a trail of a coon and they will run the coon up a tree, and then what's called treeing. So I lived back in the Myers Acres edition, and I lived at the end of the road where there was a farm. We had 35 acres, and a railroad track run through there. So I would go across the railroad track and take my dog back into those woods, and we would hunt those woods. So I had a real strong light called a coon light that it's like if you've seen a battery that goes on a small lawnmower. It used to be 6-volt batteries, about 4 inches by 8 inches, and they're about 12 inches tall. Anyway, they're in a case that you wear on your side, and there's a heavy belt that holds it, and you have a cord with a light that you carry around, or you can wear it on your hat. So I'd take my dog up through there, and his name was Bill, and he was running pretty good, and the cat's messing with the dog. The dog don't like it. Anyway, as I was walking through there, I seen something run across the woods, and this is not in the same location. The first sight of the little what looked like a leprechaun was in Newport, and this was in Greene County. Newport's in Cott County. So I seen what looked like a little leprechaun run through the woods. My dog paid no attention to it. He didn't notice it, didn't smell it. So we didn't, I never even mentioned it. I don't remember if I even told my wife, but so now the Cherokee people used to tell about small people. They were called the moon-eyed people. and they had very large eyes. They lived in caves. They would never come out during the day. They only came out at night, and they were very sensitive to light. They were builders. They built stuff with stone. And there's a place called Fort Mountain, northern Georgia, where there's a stone structure like a fort that has been made there, and it was contributed to the Moon-Eyed people. There's a small statue that they found, and it's at a museum that you can go see, that looks what the Moon-Eyed people look like. Now, they actually look like little aliens is what they look like, and they got very, very large eyes. But I don't think this is what I seen. Now, Greys, alien beings, we'll just say, quote, alien beings, I think they're spiritual, or maybe even angelic or demonic type entities. I don't know. I know that I've seen a lot of UFOs, but that's because I'm always looking. I'm always observing things around me. But that's my story about what I seen, and I wanted to share that. I'm going to post this to probably not to Facebook, but I'm going to post it to YouTube. Anyway, if you've had anything like that, if you've seen anything like that, share it in the comments.